ladies and gentlemen, there's a woman who each day steps forward with a heart full of curiosity and a spirit that refuses to settle. She is the woman who knows that learning doesn't stop when you leave the classroom. In fact, it's only just begun. She is the embodiment of curiosity, constantly asking questions, seeking knowledge, and challenging herself. For her, there is no end to what she can discover. Whether she is reading books, engaging with new ideas, or listening to the experiences of others, she understands that growth is fueled by a hunger for more, a deep desire to understand the world and herself better. But let's not be mistaken, learning isn't always easy. The path isn't always smooth, and it certainly isn't without its obstacles. There are moments when doubt creeps in, when the road ahead seems uncertain, and when fear threatens to hold her back. Yet this woman refuses to let fear win. She leans into discomfort, choosing courage over doubt and making each challenge a stepping stone towards. She knows that in order to grow, she must change. Growth doesn't happen without change, and change doesn't happen without shedding old beliefs, habits, and fears that no longer serve her. This woman is not afraid to let go of what she thought she knew if it means she will become better. She sees the beauty in evolution, knowing that as she becomes more, she brings more of her gifts, her love, and her wisdom into the world. But here's the thing: she chooses learning, not because she has to, but because she wants to. Learning isn't a chore for her, it is a privilege. She chooses it because it feeds her soul, gives her purpose, and empowers her to lead a life that is fulfilling and full of potential. Learning is her way of loving herself, of honoring her mind and spirit. And because she is committed to learning, she also knows how to teach. This woman doesn't hoard what she learns, she shares it. She understands that the greatest gift she can offer to others is not just advice or encouragement, but knowledge that empowers, strengthens, and transforms. The woman who never stops learning is the woman who builds others up along the way, whose wisdom leaves a lasting legacy in the lives she touches. In her journey, she carries a unique balance of humility and confidence. She is humble enough to know that there is always more to learn, yet confident enough to believe in her own ability to grow. This balance is what makes her relatable, and is what makes her an inspiration to others. She is proof that you don't have to know everything to be extraordinary. You simply have to keep learning. As we look to the future, let us all commit to this journey of learning. Let us be the women who never stop seeking, never stop growing, and never stop evolving. For the woman who continues to learn is the woman who continues to transform not just herself, but the world around her. The journey is endless, and so is the opportunity for growth. Let us take that first step today and every day thereafter, because learning is not just a phase, it's a way of life. Thank you. There is something truly remarkable about a woman who embraces the journey of learning, a woman who understands that life itself is the greatest classroom, and every experience, whether celebrated or challenging, holds a lesson waiting to be discovered. She doesn't just go through life, she grows through life, seeing every day as an opportunity to stretch her mind, expand her spirit, and deepen her understanding of the world and her place within it. This kind of woman doesn't settle for what she knows today, because she is always reaching for more, not in a way that leaves her feeling inadequate, but in a way that fuels her soul with curiosity and possibility. She recognizes that growth doesn't come from standing still, it comes from stepping forward. Even when the path is uncertain, even when the road is steep, she knows that the willingness to learn is the spark that ignites transformation. And she carries that fire within her every single day. Her journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. She faces challenges, moments of doubt, and seasons of questioning, but she refuses to let those moments define her. Instead, she leans into them, understanding that the lessons learned in struggle are often the ones that shape her the most. She sees every misstep, every stumble, not as failure, but as feedback, a chance to grow stronger, to gain wisdom, and to rise higher. This woman is more than just a student of books or classrooms. She is a student of life. She learns from the conversations she has, the places she visits, the people she meets, and even the quiet moments of reflection she carves out for herself. She listens, she observes, she absorbs, and she allows each experience to add to the mosaic of who she is becoming. She doesn't wait for permission or perfect circumstances to learn. She seeks out growth wherever she can find it. And what's most inspiring about this woman is the joy she finds in the process. She doesn't see learning as a burden or a box to check. She sees it as a gift, a privilege, a chance to evolve into the fullest version of herself. She understands that life will never hand her a syllabus or a roadmap, but that's what makes the journey so extraordinary, because she gets to chart her own course, one lesson, one discovery, one breakthrough at a time. Curiosity is the spark that lights the fire of learning, the gentle whisper that asks, what if it's the force that pulls us beyond the familiar and into the vast unknown, where every question becomes an invitation to grow? A woman who embodies curiosity is not confined by limits or constrained by fear. Instead, she lets her wonder guide her, embracing the thrill of discovery with an open heart and a courageous spirit. She understands that curiosity isn't just about seeking answers, it's about exploring possibilities. It's about leaning into the unknown with the faith that something valuable is waiting to be uncovered. When faced with a challenge, she doesn't retreat, she leans in, asking, why is this happening? What can I learn? How can I grow? Her curiosity turns obstacles into opportunities and transforms setbacks into stepping stones. This woman doesn't wait for life to hand her lessons. She goes out and finds them. She questions not just the world around her, but also herself. She asks the hard questions. Am I living my truth? Are there beliefs holding me back? How can I be better, do better, love better? Her curiosity is both her compass and her mirror, pointing her toward uncharted territory while also reflecting the strength and potential within her. But curiosity is more than a tool for personal growth. It's a bridge that connects her to the world. It's what allows her to step into someone else's story, to ask, what's your experience? What can I learn from you? Her questions build relationships, foster understanding, and create a space where wisdom can flow freely between people. She knows that every person she meets has something to teach her, and she approaches each interaction with the humility and openness that only true curiosity can bring. What's most inspiring about her is that her curiosity never fades. It doesn't matter how much she's achieved, how much she knows, or how far she's come, she still wonders. She still asks, she still dreams. Because she understands that curiosity is not a phase, it's a way of life. It's the force that keeps her learning, growing, and evolving long after the world might say she's done enough to her. There is no such thing as enough when it comes to understanding herself, others, and the world. Her curiosity is contagious. It challenges those around her to look deeper, to think bigger, and to wonder more. She inspires others to ask questions they were too afraid to ask, to seek answers they didn't think they deserved, and to believe that there is always more to discover. Because of her, curiosity becomes more than a personal pursuit. It becomes a collective movement, a shared journey of exploration and growth. Obstacles and fears are the crossroads of growth. They stand before us, often uninvited, and challenge us to decide, will we retreat or will we seek, or will we rise? For a woman who is committed to learning, obstacles are not barriers, they are invitations. They dare her to dig deep, to uncover strength she didn't know she had, and to keep moving forward when every step feels uncertain. She knows that fear and resistance are part of the process, not signs to turn back, but signals that she's on the edge of something transformative. When fear whispers that she isn't capable, she doesn't silence it by pretending it isn't there. Instead, she confronts it with curiosity and courage, asking, "What are you here to teach me? What do I need to face within myself to move through this?" She understands that fear is often the gatekeeper to her greatest breakthroughs, and she is brave enough to walk through that gate even if her legs are trembling as she does. Obstacles for her are more than just challenges, they are opportunities to grow, refine, and become. She knows that every misstep, every failure, every not yet is a part of the journey. These moments don't define her, they shape her. When she stumbles, she doesn't see it as the end of the road. She sees it as a lesson, a stepping stone, a moment to recalibrate and come back stronger. To her, failure is not a verdict, it's feedback. This woman isn't fearless, but she is relentless. She feels the weight of her doubts just like anyone else. She wrestles with the voices that tell her she's not enough, not ready, not capable. But she doesn't let those voices win. She counters them with action, with faith, and with a determination that says, even if I'm afraid, I'll try anyway, because she knows that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. Her journey isn't without scars, but she wears them with pride. They are not signs of defeat, but badges of honor, proof that she showed up, that she fought for her growth, that she didn't give up when the road got hard. She doesn't hide her struggles, she uses them as testimony, showing others that it's possible to overcome, to persevere, to thrive. Through her resilience, she reminds us that strength isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about rising every time we fall. What's remarkable is how she transforms her obstacles into wisdom and her fears into fuel. The very things that once intimidated her become the lessons she leans on, the stories she shares, and the tools she uses to empower herself and others. She doesn't just overcome, she evolves. And with every obstacle she conquers, she becomes more confident in her ability to face the next one. To evolve is to accept that change is not only inevitable, but necessary. A woman who is willing to evolve doesn't just accept the world as it is, she dares to imagine what it could be for herself and for those around her. She knows that growth requires transformation, sometimes subtle, sometimes dramatic, but always profound. It's about shedding the old layers that no longer serve her and stepping boldly into new ways of thinking, being, and doing. She understands that in order to become more, she must be willing to leave behind the comfort of the familiar and embrace the discomfort of the unknown. This willingness to evolve doesn't come from a place of insecurity, but from a deep-seated belief in her own potential. She is not afraid of change because she recognizes that evolution isn't about losing who she is, it's about expanding and refining the woman she is becoming. With every new chapter, every shift, every pivot, she becomes more aligned with her true self, even if that self looks different than it did before. She understands that it's okay to outgrow old identities, relationships, and habits, because in outgrowing them, she makes space for something even greater. This woman is not attached to who she was yesterday. She is always learning, always growing, always refining her beliefs, her goals, and her understanding of the world. She is flexible, adaptable, and open to change, not because she lacks confidence in herself, but because she knows that the true power lies in her ability to evolve. The world around her is constantly shifting, and she refuses to be left behind. She embraces every new idea, every fresh perspective, every twist and turn as an opportunity to evolve into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Her evolution is not just for her own benefit, it ripples outward, touching the lives of those around her. As she evolves, she inspires others to do the same. Her courage to change encourages others to release their own limiting beliefs and outdated habits, to step into their own potential, and to transform the areas of their lives that no longer serve them. She creates a community of growth where transformation is not just an individual pursuit, but a collective one. The more she evolves, the more she empowers those around her to evolve too. And she doesn't rush the process. She understands that evolution is not a race, but a journey, a lifelong commitment to becoming the best version of herself. She celebrates the small wins and acknowledges the setbacks with equal grace, knowing that both are part of the beautiful unfolding of her life. She trusts the process, knowing that with each step forward, she is aligning more fully with her purpose and her potential. Lifelong learning is a gift, not a task. It's not something that should feel like an obligation, but a choice, a conscious, empowering decision to remain open to the endless possibilities that life has to offer. The woman who embraces lifelong learning sees it not as a requirement or a box to tick, but as an essential part of her journey, a means to enrich her life and deepen her understanding of herself and the world. She wakes up every day with the belief that there is always something new to discover, always something to grow toward, and always more to experience. For her, the process of learning is as vital as breathing, not because she has to, but because she chooses to. She chooses it because she recognizes the incredible power of knowledge. She understands that learning is the pathway to unlocking untapped potential, to breaking down walls that once held her back, and to stepping into the fullness of who she is meant to be. It's not about accumulating facts or credentials. It's about nourishing her mind and spirit, cultivating wisdom that makes her more compassionate, more capable, and more connected to the world around her. Learning to her is not a means to an end, it is the journey itself, the joy of constant discovery, the thrill of uncovering truths that expand her perspective and challenge her assumptions. This woman knows that learning isn't confined to a classroom or a textbook. It happens everywhere, in the quiet moments of reflection, in the conversations with others, and the experiences she gathers along the way. She seeks wisdom from the people she meets, from the books she reads, from the art she appreciates, and from the challenges she faces. She never stops learning because she understands that the world is a vast, complex place full of lessons that are waiting for those who are willing to open their hearts and minds. And she chooses to be one of those people who will never stop growing, no matter where life takes her. What makes her stand out is that she doesn't do this out of a sense of duty or because someone tells her she must. She doesn't approach learning as a chore or something to be endured in order to achieve a goal. She sees it as an act of self-love, a way to enrich her life and fuel her soul. Learning is something she does because it excites her, because it sparks her imagination, and because it helps her grow into the woman she is becoming. She chooses learning because it gives her a sense of purpose, because it empowers her to lead with confidence, and because it keeps her connected to the world in a way that is both meaningful and impactful. And it's not always about the grand, sweeping moments of transformation. Often it's the small choices, the quiet decisions to read that book, to ask that question, to step into that unfamiliar space that have the greatest impact. Each choice to learn adds another layer to her, another piece of wisdom, another thread woven into the fabric of who she is. The woman who embraces lifelong learning understands that every little bit matters and that each day holds the potential for discovery, no matter how small the lesson may seem. She also recognizes that learning is not linear, it's messy, unpredictable, and sometimes frustrating. There are moments when she feels stuck, when progress seems slow, when the path ahead feels unclear. But she doesn't give up because she knows that these moments are part of the process, part of the growth. She chooses to keep going, to remain curious, to stay committed to her journey of learning, even when the road is uncertain. The power of knowledge is not just in what we accumulate for ourselves, but in how we share it with others. A woman who never stops learning understands that the true strength of her wisdom lies in its ability to uplift and empower those around her. She knows that knowledge is not a resource to hoard, but a gift to give. It's not enough for her to grow in isolation. She seeks to help others grow alongside her, to create a ripple effect where her insights, lessons, and experiences become a beacon for others to follow. When she learns something new, it's not just a personal victory. It becomes a shared experience, something she can pass along to help others break free from their limitations, expand their possibilities, and rise to new heights. She is not content to keep her knowledge locked away for her own benefit. Instead, she is driven by a deep sense of purpose to share what she knows, knowing that each piece of wisdom she imparts has the power to change someone else's life. Whether it's through a conversation, a mentor relationship, or even just a simple piece of advice, she understands that knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. But this woman doesn't just share knowledge for the sake of it, she shares it with intention. She recognizes that every person has their own unique journey, their own struggles, their own set of dreams. She doesn't offer one-size-fits-all solutions, but instead meets others where they are, understanding their challenges and offering insights that are meaningful and relevant. She listens deeply, observes keenly, and then speaks with wisdom and compassion, knowing that the right piece of knowledge at the right moment can be life-changing. Her words are not just about imparting facts, they are about providing the tools to help others transform, to help them see their own potential, and to guide them toward their own breakthroughs. Empowering others through knowledge is not about elevating herself above anyone else. It's about creating a sense of equality, a space where everyone can learn and grow together. She recognizes that the act of sharing her knowledge doesn't diminish her own power, it magnifies it. It creates a bond, a connection, a sense of community where everyone feels encouraged to bring their own wisdom, their own experiences to the table. By empowering others, she builds a network of mutual growth where everyone's success is tied to the success of the whole. She doesn't just empower others with the knowledge she has, but with the belief that they too can learn, grow, and succeed. She encourages others to see themselves as capable of greatness, not by giving them the answers, but by giving them the tools and confidence to find their own. She teaches them that knowledge is not something to fear or feel inadequate about. It's something to embrace, something to pursue with curiosity and boldness. But she helps others understand that learning is not a destination, it's a lifelong journey, one that is meant to be taken with passion, persistence, and an openness to possibility. And in sharing her knowledge, she creates an environment where others feel inspired to do the same. She sparks a cycle of empowerment where those she helps feel called to pay it forward, to share their own knowledge, to help someone else along their path. This is the true power of knowledge. It doesn't just change individual lives, it has the potential to change entire communities, to transform the world one person at a time. And it all begins with the simple act of choosing to empower others through what you've learned. For this woman, empowerment is not just about personal success, it's about collective transformation. She understands that when she empowers others, she doesn't just change their lives, she changes the world. The knowledge she shares becomes the catalyst for a greater movement, one where everyone has the opportunity. In the end, the woman who never stops learning is not defined by what she knows, but by how she chooses to use that knowledge to make a difference. She understands that learning is not just a personal pursuit, but a collective journey, a journey that transforms not only her own life, but the lives of everyone she touches. Through curiosity, resilience, and a willingness to evolve, she shapes the world around her, inspiring others to embrace their own paths of growth and discovery. Her commitment to lifelong learning empowers those around her to rise, to dream, and to believe in their own limitless potential. And in empowering others, she creates a ripple effect that spreads far beyond her reach, igniting a movement of transformation, compassion, and strength. She teaches us that knowledge is not a tool for self-interest, but a bridge that connects us all, a bridge that, when shared, has the power to change lives, uplift communities, and transform the world. The woman who never stops learning shows us that there is no limit to what we can become, no end to the journey of growth, and no greater purpose than to pass along the wisdom we gain to those who need it most. And in that, she leaves a legacy that will inspire, uplift, and empower generations to come.